Conjuror Community.
Hey everybody, welcome to Afternoon Astonishments from Conjuror Community, the world's best magic club. I'm here with the team, Aaron Fisher, Mike Stevens, Alexander Slimmer, and a couple of people are missing today. That's okay. This is the show where we dive into mind-blowing magic performed by some of the world's greatest magicians. And today we're going to look at the one and only Mr. David Regal.
Oh, my God.
That's right. Mr. Hollywood.
Every time you see Regal, he just gets better and better.
He does, man. He does. And a lot of people don't know this. He's a writer for years on sitcoms and TV shows, and he's got a real sense of how to put together a really clever routine, a really great routine. And so we're going to watch, I don't even know what we're going to start with today.
He knows a lot about a lot and really comes at it from all the angles. So why don't we watch one of his openers?
U.S. playing card company. This is a card box before they make it into a card box. This is what yeah, you can look at that. This is what they look like. Of course, this is before they're printed. This is what they look like after they're printed. Oh, I know. It's beautiful.
Oh.
It's lovely. It's lovely, but it's still not a card box. They have to make it in the shape of a card box. Once it's in the shape of that card box, that's when they can insert the deck of cards. Yeah, folks.
That's
there we
strong.
go. That's all we're saying. That's all we're saying. So
that establishes credibility right away, right? That's a good one, man. I love that trick.
That's like Redux, isn't it? That's like even more sudden decks.
Yeah, because there was another version of it way back, which just had the appearing part, but that color thing at the beginning, the POW, that thing is really, it has the visual kick it needed. Really needed that at the beginning. Didn't need it, but adding that was like incredible. X10.
It's really something, you know. Regal, we're going to say this over and over and over again. Regal was always a prolific creative guy, always was, way back since Star Quality, back when Harry Lorraine used to take a lot of credit for David Regal, rest in peace. But now I just have to say that Regal has gotten better and better and better, you know, working on the Carbonaro effect. He creates a lot of magic. And I just have to say that we saw a lot of magic during this last month that with David that we just never saw coming, and it always just gets stronger and stronger and stronger. You're going to hear us say it over and over and over again. And as you're going to see in this next video, he works with all kinds of magic. So this is a classic, and it's just a sort of opportunity to see a Regal touch on a classic stunt.
a lot of you have come here to see magic, but I realize a bunch of you are here
He ain't kidding.
to hear a dissertation on classical architecture. Well, in an effort to please everyone, I brought along a little something. It's in this pouch. Now, if you've ever visited, I don't know, Rome, England, Greece, you've seen these beautiful old towns, and they truly are beautiful. It's because they were designed. They were designed using classical forms for the windows, the doors, classical shapes. I'll show you what I mean. This is called the standard arch. The standard arch. This is the short arch, and there was a long arch too. They color-coded them. The short and the long. Do you understand? Now, it's hard to see this side, but if you double them up, it's more apparent. The short and the long. The short and long. Do you understand that? Good, because now let's talk about the short arch. It's called the short arch because, what's that? Oh, you thought this is, no, these are the short. The yellow is the short, the red is the long arch. It's short and long, that's why they're color-coded. Short and long. Now, you can look at these, they're just pieces of wood. And blah, 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 and they're looking, I'm sorry, you were right, look at that. My mistake, my bad, because they label them in the front too. Yeah, these are the short ones. Yeah, of course, my bad. This means the yellow or the long, short and long. I'm sorry, but now that we understand the basics, I can show you some of the interesting variations, because as you might imagine, you could have a combination. You could have a short long, and a short long will always match another short long. They have to. I mean, let's be honest. You could make a long short, and a long short will always perfectly match another long short. It has to. Where it gets interesting, though, is if you take that long short and make it a short long, that's going to be shorter than a long short for obvious reasons. Curiously, though, you take that long short and make it a short long. Even though it was a long short just a second ago, it's going to be shorter than the other long short. I think because the word long comes first. I'm not 100% on that. The one thing we do know absolutely is that two shorts will always be smaller than two longs. It gets muddy. I admit, especially when you realize that each one is exactly the same size. That is the long and short.
What a great name, too. You know, he could have named it Two Bridges or anything, but the long and short gives him all that wordplay.
No idea what happened, but I loved it.
I know.
And
It's based on that old. It's based on that old illusion, that old optical illusion. I found it just in my little book of optical illusions right there. And it's old as the hills, right? But how did he take this? Is what Regal is so good at, right, Aaron?
What's the old illusion? Explain it to us.
Can you see it right here?
Well,
I'm
they
holding
look
it.
like they're different sizes to me.
They do, right?
But they're not?
No, they're not. No, they're exactly the same.
Those two things are not different sizes.
No, they are not. They're the same exact size.
Are you sure that that's not a picture of what it feels like is happening? Because those two things have got to be different sizes.
No, they're not. They're not different sizes. They are exactly the same size.
Mike, Alex, back me up here. Those two things are not the same size, are they?
I don't think those two are the same size.
Those two things are not the same size, are they?
Somebody get a string, measure
All right,
that out.
Those two things are not the same size.
I love it. I love it. I love it.
Listen,
We're gonna measure
I
it.
would say that that's what was happening, but it looks to me like what they're saying is when you get these two pieces and position them like this, people would swear this is what's happening.
All right, here we go. We're gonna measure from the tip here, from the
Yep.
0
What's
to
that
there.
say?
What's that say?
It's 8.
8.
8 inches.
I'm gonna go to the top one and measure from the tip to the tip.
Are you sure it's the same thing?
You're just messing with me.
I'm not messing with you. I'm
It's
not.
a trick
listen,
ruler. It's a
I'm
slide.
just going to come out there and say it. I can say this, damn it. Regal is a wordsmith.
He really is.
So this is another one of these optical illusions like Fast and Loose where this is an optical illusion.
Yeah.
I think the miracle is in watching David's wordplay and his energy and his shenanigans as he dances around this optical illusion. You know, because I, for one, don't like doing tricks like this myself, but I remember thinking, watching David do it, man, this guy can make anything play.
And that's it. He makes it play. He makes it feel like you're watching something that's important that you can't look away from. And it's something that's so simple. It's just an optical illusion, but he's elevated it to a place where, you know, as a magician, you're almost like, maybe I want to try that one. That looks like a fun piece to perform for people. You know, it's really good. But it's David. It's David. It's why you love it. It's because it's David. He's just an amazing performer. And every time you watch him, it's infectious because you want to hear what he has to say. You want to see what he's going to do. And it's wonderful. David is wonderful.
But for the most part, but here's the thing. He has that ability. And it's one of his many, many abilities. And when he was talking, one of the things he was talking about when he was with us was that he is an long-time improvisation artist. Done a lot of sketch comedy over the days, a lot of improv on stage. He's very, very skilled at it. In addition to that, he's also that allows him to make anything play when he's doing it. He talks about how to commit to things. He knows how to throw himself body and soul into anything he chooses to do. And that's one of the things we talk about in the workshops. And you can really see it in a trick like that. Or even better, once you're rehearsing a trick like that yourself and you reflect on watching David do it, you'll feel what I'm talking about when you go, whoa, he really does dive in there with his whole heart. And he does it. Now, if you compare that to the first trick, that art shows another skill David has, which is the ability to create magic that can be useful to a great many magicians. And so those are two different skills. And when you watch a great magician, it can be very difficult to know which one is necessarily at play. And this is just my opinion, of course, because David's going to give you the presentation when you do that illusion. And certainly if you commit to it, and you use his words, you're going to be able to make it run. But for my money, it's interesting when you watch David. In this case, I just think you're watching David's energy and his intelligence at work. Whereas, you know, sudden deck is the kind of thing that a lot of us could actually make play ourselves, you know? I guess for me, the jury is out on whether I personally think I could make the long and the short of it, play like David does.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
But over 30 years, you learn a little bit about what will work for you. You know what I mean? It's an interesting thing. One of the dangerous things about this, guys, is that there's people out there that love fast and loose. And when you say things like what I've said, they come looking for you with pitchforks. It's like the Larry David show and or Frankenstein. So we have one more piece that we're going to watch from David today. What's
I was
wrong?
going to say put a fork in it. That one's done. I'm with you, Aaron.
Which one?
Fast and loose.
Oh, yeah? Well, this is the long and the short of it. And maybe I'm wrong because there may be some people who say, hey, I never said I like the long and short of it. I just like fast and loose. First of all, was this called the long and the short of it, or is that what David calls it?
This is what I don't know what he calls it. Well, the original is just an optical illusion.
Optical illusion 46B.
Yeah, exactly. I don't think it has a name. I think it just is. I was looking on the
Pull
card.
that card up again.
I was looking to see if it had a name.
Look at this, guys. Did he switch out the ruler when he measured those a moment ago? Yeah, I don't know about that.
Look at this one, bro. Look at this one. This is another one. Like you can pick.
Yeah, but that I know. I did that myself as a child. Here's what I'm telling you. When I was looking at David's pieces on the table,
yeah,
it was not nearly as deceptive to me as that card is. Am I the only one here who finds this to be very upsetting when Adam showed that those were the same size? Didn't you both think I was right? Maybe not that one.
Yeah.
It's
You
very
guys agreed with me,
deceptive.
right?
Well, he flipped the illusion over, right? He's doing it the opposite way that David's doing it. If he did it that way, you'd probably be like, I see what he's doing.
My concern is I'm not sure the extent to which the perspective on the table matters. This is beyond and off the topic, and the topic is merely David Regal's genius. This is what happens. This is what happens to the nature of the critique when we talk about a living, breathing magician who owns a social media account, like David Regal. Let's watch another trick.
All right, this is the final one tonight. This is called Parade of Kings. Let's check it out.
Oh, this
Adam,
is
have you ever wanted to kill a guy?
present company excluded.
I feel for you. I feel for you, Adam. And so I'm going to give you that opportunity. Now, recently in Burbank, where I live, there's a new law. You can't kill actual guys. So we're going to have to use kings in their place. Okay. But then you can meet them all. So you get a feeling for them. You'll have your chance to kill a guy, as I promised you would. All the kings, you get to meet them all. It's exciting, I realize. I'll put them right here in your hands. Now they're sitting on your hand. Now, Adam, you get to play the best part ever written in the history of drama. You are the queen. Do you like that?
Yes.
It's a
Yes.
good feeling. It's a good feeling. And you get to say the greatest line ever uttered by a queen. Off with his head. Let me hear you say that.
Off with his head.
Oh, he's actually doing a character. Thank you. Thank you for that, Adam. Not everyone go to that much trouble. Now, this is a little play we're going to enact. You're the lead role, the queen. You get to cast this play. We have 4 kings. 2 of them are your trusted assistants. Are they the red kings or the black kings?
Definitely black. Yes.
Okay, you don't have to worry about them. They're your trusted assistants. That means one of the red kings is out to get you. It's the king of diamonds or the king of hearts.
Definitely King of Hearts.
Say off with his head and you're
Off with his head.
ooh. I felt that, did you? Just lift your hand up a little bit. Oh, yes, I sense bloodshed. In fact, I think one of these cards is a little bloodier. See a little bit of blood?
Yeah.
You might want to use a little Purell when we're done with this. Not just a little bloodier. One of these gentlemen has actually lost a vital part of his anatomy. It's not clubs. It's not spades. It's not diamonds. It's the king of hearts.
Excellent.
What do you say about that? That's a great little piece, huh?
Yeah. It's so funny because like you feel like you've seen that. This is happening all the time with Regal. Like you feel like you've seen a variation of that maybe before. If you've been in magic for millions of years, you see a variation of everything. But there it is again. Like he comes with this brilliant little twist to something that.
Right. So the premise. Did you ever want to kill a guy?
Right. What a line.
So he destroyed the king that you named, because you can't kill an actual guy. But of course, is when he asked you, everyone laughed because, of course. And maybe someone here right now, right? It's funny. It's funny.
Oh no, the guy I want to kill, he does my trees.
Oh yeah.
Just kidding. But I will say this about that trick. You can point to one trick wave I was thinking of in particular, right? You can say it's similar in a very distinct way, but to me that trick right there just has so much it's just life. It's got, I know it's a beheading, so we're talking about something that's a weird topic, but it's just a fun thing. It's got life. It's got like a lot of byplay. It's got stuff you doesn't normally have, like
He's great with premises. He's great.
It elevates,
It
elevates from a different kind of trick that you've seen normally. When you see that effect, it's like, I'm going to read your mind. And that's, in a sense, that could be very flat unless you are someone that can really present that kind of thing. So usually when you see that kind of trick, it's not as big as it could be. But because David is such a big personality, and like Aaron mentioned, he can bring out that premise that just makes you stop in your tracks and go, what did you just say? That's a great hook to get you involved in the thing. And then plus the proof. I mean, when there's a hole in the card and it's the one you named, it's like the proof there. It's like there's no other way it could be done other than magic, or I could read minds, or I can make you think what I want you to think, or whatever. You're left with mystery. And it's very strong, very good. I love this trick. Very smart.
Sometimes when you've been doing magic for like 30 years, it doesn't make you smarter, it just makes you older. It makes you sometimes stupider in a lot of different ways. One of the great things about Mike is he's been in the arts a long time, but he's been in magic a little bit less time than some of us, and he's not quite such a grumpy old magic guy, premature, only pushing 50, even so, a little grumpy, a little cirrhosis of the brain, that kind of thing. Mike, when you see Regal, which of these tricks turns you on the most?
I like them all for different reasons. The sudden deck is great because it's a startling quick effect. Mm-hmm. This one is awesome because it seems kind of impossible, and the long and short of it is just the way that he milks everything that he can out of a trick that's just everybody knows how to do.
That sounded like a real non-answer to me. Which of these tricks
do I like the best?
You the most? You right, and you can be selfish for your own sake.
This one excites me the most.
The last one
that we just saw off with his head.
Why?
Well, why? I think it is one of the most startling, and even though I don't think I could pull it off the way that David does, it has a really great hook. Like the second he said, Adam, have you ever wanted to kill a guy? It really kind of makes you lean in and be like, I want to see what's going to happen, or even just what Adam's going to say. Right? There's a lot of greatness in that lead-in line in this trick, and the trick itself, I think, is really great.
You recently had some hecklers, Mike. You recently had some young hecklers at a show.
I have.
Are you considering what it would be like to ask them that opening line? Hey, kids, you ever wanted to kill a person?
I may have to throw that around. That's possible. That could work.
It's a really exciting. I was thinking that you were going to exhibit a real love of the middle trick because it was not prone to weather.
Well, those wooden arches are somewhat prone to weather.
It's tough. It's tough. It's important.
MDF doesn't handle well in humidity. It's true.
It's a tough thing, and these are things we all have to learn. Adam, which was your favorite?
I like the first one. I like the deck appearing. I just think it's so fast and awesome. Just visual, great.
Isn't that interesting? You feel like sudden deck is almost a trick. It could be called fast and loose.
Yeah. Yeah, I
Alex-
also can see myself doing sudden deck, like, because it's like no skill needed, learn it in, like, I haven't done the trick, but I think it's relatively easy to perform. And the angles are great and all all the things that make it perfect for like the kind of thing I'd pick up and go take to a restaurant or something.
David's always been a great magician, and you're going to hear this a lot. I think you're going to see this return over and over and over again. Those TV shows, really being a consultant on those TV shows, has given a fair chunk of David's tricks a certain visual pop, a certain, I don't know what to say, a certain photogeneity, a certain theatricality and photogenic quality, visual hook or something that really just makes them really, really great for magicians in a world where you got to see the stuff to make an impression. So thanks for joining us today for this new edition of Afternoon Astonishments. Do us a quick favor and click follow and subscribe below this video so you'll be notified of the very next episode of Afternoon Astonishments in just a few days. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you soon.
Afternoon Astonishments.